Welcome back once again to Love and Life Unlimited, and we continue to learn together. Yes, as we increase in terms of knowledge. Remember, once again, we have done some videos, and we requested you to subscribe, to comment, to like, and share, and pass a comment on anything that you would want us to handle as related maybe to leadership or anything else. And it's not a must that it be handled by one person. It can always be held by experts in different areas. So I hope you've been doing well and you've learned a lot through the process. Yeah, and we keep on learning because we say that nobody is a tree of knowledge. Every day is an opportunity to learn a new thing. Every day is an opportunity to make a change. Every day is an opportunity to impact the life of that other person by what we have given ourselves into. More so, we have been equipping ourselves with leadership concepts, which has taken us a bit of time. But I believe that we have been able to capture some few things and some few details here and there, which will make us to be better leaders of tomorrow in our families, in our own capacity as ourselves. So it is important that if this is your first time to join or subscribe to Love and Life Unlimited, that you check on the videos, on the previous videos that we were able to do. And in case of anything, you can always get back through our comment section or via the email. So today we're going to speak concerning a very important thing or something that we consider very personal before it gets to organizational level. And this is something that we have been told again and again since you were young, since I was young, and it's simply about discipline. Simply about discipline. And they say, or they told us that discipline, it's about doing the right thing at the right place, even with the right people in the right way, and all those kind of things. And you realize that if there is one thing that discipline helps you, it's that it keeps you on course. It helps you to keep on moving because it ensures that you're walking in the right path or you're taking the right direction. Now, discipline can have different dimensions. We can have a dimension where it is you now uh, uh, doing it at the right time, at the right place, out of willingness or out of where you have realized that it is important for you to be able to do that thing at the right time. Again, we can have the aspect of you being sometimes being let us not say forced, but you do it because someone else is watching over you. Like for example, our parents, some of our parents we have had to work in discipline because they were so hard on us. Yeah. Sometimes you realize if you do one or two things, maybe your parent would be not be happy and then they would beat you up, and through that you're going to change because you don't want to receive another beating next time. So there can be those two dimensions. And maybe again, in the context of an organization, when we talk about self-discipline, is why you are not waiting maybe for a supervisor or the manager to come and tell you to attend to your task or to your roles. Now, they don't have to remind you that you need to arrive early at your place of work. You arrive early because you love what you do. Actually, we can bring that aspect of appreciating and loving what you do would actually helps you to improve on your self-discipline because you'll be able to know that whatever the result will be, they're going to be affected by the way that you have been carrying yourself through that process. So there are those two aspects. I have said the one aspect is why you do it because you really want to stay on the course and you are motivated by yourself and also motivated by the results that you want to receive at the end of it all. And then again, maybe because of sometimes because of the pressure that you're receiving from maybe your employee, from your parent, from your friends, so you choose to work in discipline. So there can be those two dimensions. But today we're going to specifically talk about self-discipline, because when you have self-discipline, then the other one is very easy. You do not need a manager to come and tell you to do this. If you can be able to tell yourself that this is supposed to be done, or you can be able to identify that gap and be able to attend to it without procrastination. Because one of the issues that affect self-discipline is procrastination. Maybe, for example, you have set a certain plan, because every leader should have a certain plan or a strategy that they're supposed to follow or to use at any given time. Now, the magnitude of how you're going to follow that plan that you have, or the idea that you have, is so much dependent on how you discipline yourself. Maybe, for example, you set a plan that you want to buy a phone by the end of the month, and maybe you are working. So for you to be able to buy that phone, you need to cut some few costs, some few expenses here and there, so that you can be able to achieve to get a certain amount of money. Assuming you're paid 25,000 and your phone will cost 20,000. So you need to cut your expenses during that month to ensure that you are able to get that money, and by the end of that month that you'll be able to buy that phone. Assuming you want to build a mansion or a bungalow and all that, and you have a plan, you have the budgeting that it requires for you to be able to build such a house. In that case, you need to be self-disciplined with your finances, because if you are not, then you'll not be able to achieve that goal. Now, the other thing, if you keep on procrastinating, then you realize you will not be able to achieve whatever you want to. So self-discipline is that aspect of allowing you to work on the course, knowing the end result. What are you up to? So if you know what you are up to, then you are able to work in that path of ensuring that you do that thing you're supposed to do at the right time and in the right way. Yeah. So there is one scholar called Daniel Goldstein, that said that I think self-discipline is something, it's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. Like, for example, for those that go to gym each and every day, you realize that your body takes different, it is able to change at different times, as more as often as you continue doing the exercise. Now, self-discipline, it's kind of a strength or a backbone of your goal, of your vision, of your purpose, because all of these are tied into that one thing. That if you pursue as you have planned, then at the end you know that it is very possible for you to be successful. Like, again, you are able to follow your timeline, so that you will not find that you're behind a schedule. Maybe, for example, if you have planned something, again, for people like project managers, those people who do projects, you realize that, for example, if you're working on a certain project and you have a time frame, maybe you have something we call a work breakdown structure, or something that you're following. If one member of that project does not follow the timeline, or they do not follow the schedule that you have put, then you realize you will not be able to achieve that. Or maybe, for an example, for an engineer, if they are not disciplined, self-disciplined to remind the employees or those that are working to be able to attend into all those issues each and every day, then you realize by the end of the period that they were given to complete a certain project, the project will not be able to be completed. It might go to on a stall, or it might be come to a stop at any given point. So simply, self-discipline is the ability for you to resist any impulse. You maintain focus at that point and see project through to completion. So there are so many things that comes when you decide to do a certain thing, or when you decide to achieve a certain thing. I have said, like, for example, if you want to buy a phone or a laptop, or you just something, or maybe you want to do marriage and all that and all that. So there are different impulses, or there are different forces that comes in between. Sometimes you will feel tired, sometimes you will feel bored. Maybe you're working on yourself. Sometimes you feel like you're stretching too much. So if you allow those forces that are coming to overwhelm you, then at that point your self-discipline has some few questions. So it is at the point where you pursue something and hautakubali pressure zenye zinatoka from different sides to be able to uh, let you not achieve your goal at any given moment without anybody pressuring you, because we have said itself. So it is something that is coming from within. It is you who wants to do that thing at the right time, in the right way, and in the right manner. Yes. So again, it's not easy. We cannot say that it has to flow. Sometimes you have to struggle, but you still want to maintain that thing. Maybe, for example, you need to pray for 1 hour each and every day. Maybe you come from work, you're tired, you want to sleep, but because you're self-disciplined, you ensure that the 1 hour that you have set to engage in prayer, that you actually do it. So it's good to know that readers who are high on self-discipline, they cannot easily be distracted, because they have set the course, they have set the path, and they know that they have to follow and to pursue that direction. And those readers are also able to maintain a kind of a concentration, even despite of the other priorities that they may be having, or maybe requirements, or any other attention that might be required from them. They'll be able to know how to balance between, maybe you have three issues that you need to attend to. So if you're self-disciplined, you'll be able to balance all through all those three or four issues that you have at your hand. Even if you have given them priority, you'll be able to know how to balance all of them. So again, self-discipline allows readers to give their full attention to a certain task. So that person, for example, you have decided to do one thing. You'll not go into another thing before you have achieved this thing, because you know it is maybe it's going to attend to have an issue with your program on how you're able to run your things. Like, for example, you cannot be having two meetings at the same time. Maybe you tell someone, we should have a meeting at 2, then tell another one, we should have a meeting at 2. So at that point, you know that you'll not be able to balance those two people, because you cannot do them at the same time. So you need to give them priority to be able to know which one are you going to attend first, so that you then, each of them, you can be able to give them your full attention. So when it's good to assess your level of self-discipline each and every time, and you can be able to assess it by asking yourself some few questions that I'm going to pose here. Yeah, it's good to each and every time like you sit down, if you are having a certain project, sit down and ask yourself, am I being self-driven? What is the level of my self-drive at this project, or at what I am doing? So one thing is, am I setting myself goals for what I want to accomplish each and every day? One thing that really makes people to experience failure is because you do not know even what is expected of you to do. Like, you just wake up normally each and every day and just do things the normal way. Tomorrow, the next day, and the same continues. So you find that you do not even have any goal for each and every day. Like, for example, that you want to achieve. We can talk of miles. How many steps do I need to make to get to this point, or to get to this level? You realize, if you want to go to your shopping center and you stay at your house, you sit down and the whole day keep on saying, I want to go to this shopping center. At the end of the day, you still remain at that position. There is no miracle that will happen that you find yourself at the shopping center. So it's good for you to set a goal for each and every day, and know what you want to accomplish. Then the other thing is, you can ask yourself, do I take breaks throughout the day? Some of us really love to run away from a schedule, a certain thing that you're supposed to do. Maybe, for example, you go to a new environment and you find that it is challenging, you're not used to that environment. So the best way that you think that you can walk away from that schedule is by taking breaks. And at that point, you realize maybe you'll not be able to achieve what you had set for that day because you have misused the time that you're supposed to use for you to do different tasks. And then again, even for example, in an organization, your employer cannot have any trust with you because you keep on postponing, and maybe a certain task that was supposed to take 5 days, it will take you 10 days because you are taking a lot of breaks that are not even necessary. The other thing is, have I taken steps to limit the distractions and temptation that hinder my progress? Yes, like for example, we have said you want to buy a new phone, but then when you go to the market, you realize that there is a nice dress or a good suit that is very much attractive, and you have been wanting to buy that suit so that you can maybe dress to kill. Then here you have an idea of buying a new phone by the end of a certain month. So there is a temptation of you spending the money that you have already saved for your phone to be able to buy that. So thinking that you're going to maybe to get some more money and put it back to your saving so that you can be able to buy that phone at the end of the month. So if those distractions keeps on coming and those temptation keeps on coming, then you realize it will take you more time than you had planned to be able to achieve a certain your goal, your goal that you have set for you. So it's good to be able to evaluate and see whether distractions are taking most of your time or space, and even temptations, and maybe also check on how you can be able to manage them. How can I be able to manage all these distractions and temptations to ensure that I still achieve my goal at the end of it all? Then another thing is, do I give myself a reasonable amount of time to complete a task? Sometimes you might give yourself a time that is not reasonable. Like you don't have money, then you want to buy the same phone in 2 days or in one day. Then you start looking for where you can rent money, get money from someone. Then you don't know even how you're going to give that money back. So it's good to give yourself a good enough time so that you can be able to follow through that time and follow it through your discipline by ensuring that maybe if you have said it's 5 days, that is very much achievable. You've given yourself an allowance of maybe 1 or 2 days. So even if at some point you're not going to be able to follow your schedule to the letter, at least you know that you can be able to manage within that time that is in between. And the other thing is, am I effectively delegating work and decision making where possible? That mostly would happen in an organization. Yeah, it's good to know that you cannot be able to do everything. You cannot be able to do everything. So at that point, you need to know, for us to achieve this certain goal, I need to delegate this task to this person, this task to this person. It is self-discipline to do that, because you realize if you don't do that, then you have many things overlapping and you'll not be able to do them as yourself. Then final on that area is, am I mindful in my day-to-day work routine? Am I checking on what is the progress? Am I checking what is happening with me? Where did I fail? Where should I improve to ensure that at the end of the day that you will achieve the goal that you have set? So there is another part I would want to engage us on, maybe that is improving how we can improve our self-discipline. How can you be able to maybe after you have evaluated and you find that you need to make some few adjustments, how can you be able to improve that? One is that you remember the rules of motivation. Yeah, it's good for you to be able to know what motivates what you want to do or what you want to achieve, what will motivate you to be able to achieve that goal. That will help you to be self-disciplined each and every time that you are handling whatever you're doing. Yeah. So it is good to remember the roots of motivation or what motivates you through the whole course. Then another one is taking frequent breaks. Sometimes it's good you take a break. You do not overdo. You do not maybe sometimes invest a lot of energy or a lot of strength more than you are supposed to, because again you can overdo. If you overdo or you're obsessed with that thing so much, then that ceases to be self-discipline. So it's good that you be able to take frequent breaks, gain more strength, come back strong, and keep on moving on, working on a certain task that you are doing. Yes. Again, at that point, you need to be self-controlled, so that you do not find that the resources that you are to use have been depleted before you finish that certain task. You yourself, you are a resource. So if you press yourself to the maximum, then it means you'll not be able to achieve that which you want to do. And the other thing is you remove temptations and uh, and distractions. So it's good for us to know that self-discipline is best improved with our frequent practice. It is a learned behavior. It's not something that you can inherit from someone. So it is for yourself to ensure that you are training yourself to engage in it even more often, time by time. You ensure that you're making improvements to your self discipline, and by that it will help you to focus and be able to face some interruptions that might come in through. Yeah. So it is good if you realize that you're having an issue with your self-discipline, you can try out these three things maybe. One is that you make time to make the decisions. It's good that you sit down before you get into that certain thing. Make time to sit down and make a decision. Once you have made a decision, that decision will give you a route on what you're going to do. That decision is your destination. So everything else you do will be tied to the decision that you are able to make. And yeah, and you're going to use every resource. You're going to prioritize the decision that you have made to make sure that you achieve that certain goal. You will control yourself to a point of where you know that I need to achieve this certain goal that I've set. Then again, is you reduce the load. I've said it's not good for you to overtask yourself or to have two concurrent things at the same time if you want to be self-disciplined, because one way maybe your time will be affected. If you're meeting two people at the same time, there is a high probability that you're going to fail one of them, which might not add up well. And the last thing is you practice mindful meditation. Mindful meditation is something that has gained a lot of popularity, and it's a solution for organizations. Like sometimes you need to just sit down, uh, think through of what you have been doing, and then be able to see where can you be able to improve as a person, or where can you be able to improve as an organization. In the area of an organization, then you need to sit down as an organization, and then each and every employee should also sit down at their own time or at their own way, and then reflect on what has been happening. Then they meditate on what you've been able to achieve. Then after that, they can make the relevant adjustment to how they have been handling their things or in their self discipline. So yeah, that is it for today. I hope we have learned something of we've reminded ourselves something, because these things again they are not new. That it is good to be able to it self discipline is that ability of you following something to the end or to completion, even though there are forces, there are impulses that are in between as you follow through that course of what you want to do or you want to achieve. So, in case you have any question again, you can get back to us through the email or through the comment sections. Otherwise, I'm glad for you viewing our videos and learning a lot from us. And we hope also to continue engaging more as time goes by and ensure that we make out good leaders in the world for our own things, for organizations, as an employee, as employers, as pastors, as men of God, as family people, and all that, and all that, and all that, that we be all the people who are ensuring that we do our level best to show that the world that we can be able to lead, we can be able to be on the top, and our efforts are not in vain. So, bye for now.